Today I'm going to do my presentation all about earthquakes now, and volcanoes, sorry. An earthquake. Earthquakes are a result of a sudden release of energy in the Earth's crust, creating seismic waves. Not quite sure what that means. Me either. Basically, it's shaking and vibrating at the Earth's surface. Most earthquakes occur along the fault lines where the plates slide together or collide against each other. If you look over to the whiteboard, here's something I've done earlier. You've got the fault plate, you've got the epicenter, which is where things are sent to, and you've got the hypercenter, which is not entirely sure. Moving on. Earthquakes are extremely destructible and potentially fatal. They have caused thousands of deaths. We don't really get them here in England though. We did have one a little while back, but it was literally a little shake in the house. People were like, oh yeah, my house is shaking. I was like, no blood, you didn't feel it. Also, there's big ones that happen in Japan. Lots of ones. The biggest one I think the world has ever seen, well, at least in the 20th century, was in Chile in May in 1960. Moving on to volcanoes. 2 seconds. Right. The definition of a volcano is an eruption of molten rock, gases and pyroclastic debris through the Earth's crust. Do you know what that means? Basically just pow! Explosions. There are 3 states of volcanoes. There's extinct, there's dormant and there's active. Extinct, this means it will never erupt again. Dormant, hasn't erupted in 2,000 years, tends to erupt every sort of,
2,000 years?
Yeah, maybe. And active volcanoes means it's erupted recently and is likely to again. Now, if you look at my little diagram of volcano, here you have the crater, the main vent, the eruption cloud, the caldera, and the lava flow. Volcanoes get extremely hot. The lava is like bubble. I don't know if you've ever seen Madagascar when they're like gonna put them in the volcano like to try and get water, because they think that if they go in the volcano then they will get water. I'm not quite sure how that theory works, but yeah, it's bubbling, it's sizzling, it's big. Get me? An example of volcano is Lanzarote. It's a common place people go on holiday for, which it would always intrigue me, because I'd be thinking, where am I? I'm at the beach, but I'm also on a volcano. Very interesting. You get different types of volcanoes, they mainly occur in the plate boundaries and where it gets very hot, basically. Anyway, thank you for listening to my presentation. That shall be all.